got 'em open all over town. Stick the biz, don't play around. Cover much ground, got game by the pound. Getting paid is a forte. Each and every day to play away. I can't get out of my...
Darth Vader keeps trying to have sex with me. I've had a long-standing crush on Harrison Ford, so I find it annoying that it isn't Han Solo trying to seduce me under the blue comforter. 20 years into marriage, and here I am in bed with Darth Vader. My husband snores. I don't recall exactly when it got so bad. Perhaps he let out sweet gurgles in those early days when we couldn't sleep together without our bodies touching all night in that double bed of mine. I remember vacationing pre-kids and finding ourselves with a king-sized bed in some fancy resort. It seemed overwhelmingly large as we curled up together on one narrow sliver of the acre of crisp white hotel bedding. Now, instead of spooning through the night, I bury my head under a pillow and wear earplugs to drown out the cacophony. So my husband went to Kaiser Permanente in search of a solution. I hoped they'd say, we have a non-invasive outpatient nasal surgery for a $15 copayment that will stop your nose from vibrating at 120 decibels as if a woodchopper's in bed with your wife. But no, the doctor sent my husband for a sleep study, at which they determined he needs a $400 CPAP machine not covered by insurance and the most unsexy contraption ever built. And so, as my former Jedi Knight dons his Darth Vader-like mask, the swoosh of air pumping in and out with the whir and hiss of an evil antagonist, I roll toward him, pretending that I'm drawn by the Force. But I can't stop laughing at the new reality of our romance. Stolen kisses that used to require the removal of glasses now necessitate the unbuckling and peeling off of multiple bands and straps along with a suction cup that fits over his mouth and nose. And finding time, and truthfully sometimes the inspiration for sex, is already difficult when you have kids. First, the baby is sleeping in her bassinet in the same room, and you're fearful she might roll over and learn the facts of life before she can even crawl. Then, you try to be quiet so you don't wake up your restless toddler down the hall. Later, you sneak off while the kids are watching Saturday morning cartoons, and you're just about to get into it when you hear feet padding toward your room and the inevitable knock on the door requesting juice or snuggles. Then soccer season starts, and it takes up your Saturday mornings, and good God, why did the team have to be so good? Now, the season that was supposed to end in November goes on with playoffs and tournaments into March. You haven't been home on a weekend morning in months. Weekday evenings, well, those are packed with practices and lessons and meetings and rushed dinners. So between trying to find the time and trying to be discreet, somehow the spontaneity and relaxing into it gets lost. So, on this one Saturday morning, we woke up to a quiet house and some time before we had to leave for brunch. Let's just say we've still got it. Later, I found my 14-year-old son in bed, the covers pulled up over his head. I tried to pull them off, but he clung tightly to them, like when he was little and had done something wrong. I kissed what appeared to be his shoulder through the fuzz of his red blanket and told him we'd be leaving in 30 minutes. When he emerged from his room, he brushed past me in the hall. When I saw him on the couch a few minutes later, he looked away. This normally engaging, huggable kid simply would not look at me, and I had no idea why. Did something bad happen to him at school that I totally missed? So as we drove to Santa Monica, every time I glanced back at him in the back seat, he turned to look out the window. He was surly and disconnected. But our time at the beach was fun. Around everyone else, my son seemed normal, even joyful. But when half the group was in the water and the other half was off getting some food, I saw my son approaching me in the beach chair. He was wiping droplets of water from his face, and he said, "If you wonder why I am so angry with you, it's because I heard you and Dad having sex this morning, and it's totally gross." You have to promise me that you will never, ever, ever have sex with him again when I'm in the same house. Oh boy. Now, this was good lovin', but it wasn't crazy raucous sex, and I'm pretty sure the television was turned up to near capacity. But my son heard what he heard, and he was really upset about it. He was standing behind me, still not meeting my eye. Want to talk about this? No, just promise me. Well, honey, that isn't really something I can promise. You're not leaving home for 4 more years. You always tell me I shouldn't have sex, and then you go and do it. You're a hypocrite. Okay, there are several things wrong with that statement, sweetie. First, I've never said you shouldn't have sex. I've said I think you're too young now to take on the responsibilities that come with having sex. And second, your dad and I are married. I don't care. It's gross for you to do it when your children are in the same house. Good thing he doesn't know that we've done it in the same hotel room while he and his sister slept peacefully. This doesn't seem like a good time to bring that up. As if reading my mind, he storms off, kicking up sand as he goes. The afternoon progresses with no eye contact. On the ride home, my husband and daughter get into an argument about her driving. As we pull up to the house, I have somehow become the bad guy and the brunt of their frustration as well. My husband is mad because I let her get away with being impolite and irresponsible. She's upset because I didn't come to her defense against her tyrannical father. I'm standing in the kitchen near tears. 3 members of my family are angry with me, and all I've done today is have sex and go to the beach. My sweet daughter, sees me slumped against the counter. What's wrong, she asks. Oh, you and your father are mad that I didn't take sides, and your brother... Oh, that, chuckles my daughter, ever so wise at 17. He told me about that this morning, and it was so cute. I never realized how innocent he still is. I paused in my frustration. My kids talked. My son went to his sister when something bothered him. That was good. He blamed me because I'm the Madonna figure in his life, but it's all part of his coming of age. And that damn snore machine is all part of my husband's coming of a different age. In the end, the whoosh and the whirl and the sound effects, both those hidden by the sounds of the TV and those heard through the din of everyday life, through earbuds and cell phones ringing, it's the soundtrack of our lives. Like a John Williams score playing over the battle scenes of raising teens and answering the hard questions. So far, we've been lucky. The force is with us.